Hi, what's up? So I'm Daniel. We on a walk today with Brian.
Yes.
We just met him here at the supermarket here in Rehoboth, and we just went a distance with him today.
We're big on mental health awareness here, and we're excited to share the journey and share the message.
All right, let's go.
We have 3 videos on YouTube. How does she do in the car?
About 15 kilometers out. Just enjoying our walk.
Had a lovely. Hey, how's it going? High five. Had a lovely stop here. Had someone bring us some water and Powerade, which is always greatly appreciated. So thank you so much.
Was that OB?
I'm the bad guy.
Hi guys, I'm Brian Stupek. We're just having a conversation here about me walking the continent of Africa. And I was about ready to tell them that I started this because I wanted to help kind of break down the stigma around mental health. And that was big for me because I'm bipolar. And I didn't really know what that meant. I just was so depressed for so long one stretch, like 4 years ago. I went to see a doctor and he said, "You're bipolar." And I remember crying like that day because I thought that meant I was going to be homeless under yelling at cars on the side of the road. Like, I'm bipolar. That's what it's shown in movies and media. Oh. And I remember I had to shoot like a promo for my book that I wrote, and so I'm like standing in the river, like crying between takes, and my parents are like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I just need to finish this." But I don't know. As I got to understand it more, I realized that like with treatment options and with the right self-care, I can be great. It's not even that I can be like anyone else. I can be the best version of myself that I could not have been had I not taken these steps to get my mental health checked out.
Yo, that's dope.
Thank you. Yeah. And so it's like, if I can take care of this, then I can do anything.
That's true.
But if I don't take care of this, then I can't do anything. You know, it cuts me off at the knees. It restricts me, everything. So, you know, I'm on medication now. It helps. But the treatment is mostly like thought process, therapy. Walking helps. Walking is a huge reason. So, I don't know if you can see, so like most people, they live their life and they live, here's medium, here's low, here's high. Most people live their life in this kind of medium range, day to day. Bipolar people live, it's like this, right? Up and down. And so okay, so most people live in sort of this middle range. Bipolar people, like my ups are really high, my downs are really down. Most people are kind of in here, they're kind of in the middle. But on medication, instead of being like up 6 days a week, you know, not sleeping, having insane energy, writing full like novels in my third language, and then crashing and feeling suicidal. Now I'm on medication, I'm up maybe one night every month, like, so I still have the urge, but it's like calm, but I'm still me, you know, which was important. There's certain medications that just zombify me to where I'm just like here all the time, or even here the whole time. And then I still get depressed, but it lasts a couple weeks. But the walking helps. So when I was up in the past, I would walk and it would bring me down. And when I was down in the past, I would walk and it would bring me up. So I would do these. I would walk as sort of a mood stabilizer before I knew I was bipolar. I was just like, oh, I can't regulate it. I need to take a walk.
Yeah.
Or I can't get out of bed. Like I just want to walk. You know, so it's like the different. And it's tough for people around me, right? Because it's like, most people have more control of their moods than I do. So I do a good job of not lashing out and not hurting people physically or mentally or verbally. Like I internalize my pain, maybe is not the most healthy. But when I talk to people, they like, it could be tough because we can get having a good conversation and then I can just be really upset about something you said 3 years ago. Just there. And it's like, I gotta get over that.
Greetings and welcome to another episode of BTY. My name is Michael, and as always I'm joined by my very good friend Daniel, and we had the privilege, or rather Daniel specifically had the privilege of meeting Brian Stupek, an ambitious young man with the idea of traveling the entirety of Africa from Cape Town to Tunisia, and Daniel had the privilege of meeting him very early on in his travels as he was traveling through Rehoboth, Namibia. Dan, I wanted to ask you, you met him there. How did you first hear about him coming through, and what were your first impressions when you met him?
Yeah, so I must say I'm really glad to know Jason and Brandon, because they initially introduced me to him, or actually the Sunday evening after a long weekend. Jason was like, yo Daniel, don't you want to do an interview with this guy Brian Stupek? He's walking across Africa. And then the next day Brandon was like, Daniel, I want to go and meet this guy. He's walking. Let's go talk to him, give him some water and some biltong. So that's initially how we met. And then what happened is we thought we were kind of late going to meet him, because he was supposed to be walking out of Rehoboth at about 11. And by the time I got to Brandon, it was like 11:30. So we ended up texting him, didn't get a response, although they had been talking. So maybe we were like, okay, we'll just go and drive and try and meet him on the road. But then we gave him a call and he answered, and he was sitting at Hungry Lion feasting on some of that very tasty chicken. After that, we started having an interesting talk with him, and yeah, we had to wait for his cameraman, who was busy fixing their bike because the wheel had a tire burst because of all the water that they were getting from a lot of kind drivers or commuters when they were walking into Rehoboth. So yeah, why this was such an interesting event or occurrence was that we were able to sit down and talk to Brian and ask him why he actually started this movement of walking for mental health, and also just to get awareness of the importance of mental health, using the terminology that just like when you break a bone, you need to go to the doctor and you'll need to get maybe wiring to have your bones grow. You might need an operation, and after that you would even need post therapy where you're going to a physiotherapist and then later on to a biokineticist. He also mentioned that once you've gotten this mental illness, you can also break down sometimes, or you can have a bit of a bad time where you're just feeling sick mentally, and it's not wrong. And the stigma around that is like, this person's gone crazy, their life is over. But he just wanted to bring the awareness that you can go and see a therapist for therapy as well. You can go to the doctor to get certain medicines that's going to help you and regulate your hormones and all of these chemicals that's going on within all of our bodies. So
that's great.
On Brian Stupek, he is actually a bipolar young guy who's turning 32 a bit later this year. So that's initially how I met him, Michael.
Fantastic, Dan. Yeah, would have been great to have known about him when he was in Cape Town. Actually, I know that's where he started his journey. That was on day one there in Cape Town. Actually, I watched a couple of his TikToks and his Instagram videos, and it's been cool to see how he's documented this journey that he's been doing. It's a great idea, because it helps to raise awareness to what he's doing, and also bring in funding, and you can meet amazing people along the way. But I was watching one of his earlier TikToks, and he was literally like walking through the streets of Bloberg, Cape Town. So that was very cool to see, the areas that I grew up in. But seems like a really down to earth guy, and I really think that what he's doing and the message he's spreading is great, man. I wanted to ask one question. So, did he tell you how long this journey that he is currently doing is going to take?
Yeah, so it's gonna take 2 years. That's how long he has estimated it will take him. So what happens is that there's gonna be certain areas that he'll stop in for a while to recover as well. So he's been in Windhoek for a bit now, just exploring the town as well, just for his feet to recover. But he said, yeah, he's put 2 years on this journey. So yeah, it's about 365 days times two.
Wow. And did you get to ask him about like the physical and mental challenge that walking for 2 years, straight across Africa and in harsh conditions? Did you maybe get to ask him about I know this when he was going through Rehoboth, he was on like day 37 or so. Did you maybe get to chat to him about the physical and mental challenge that has provided to him already so far?
Yeah, so we were able to chat a bit about that. What was his biggest challenge was the physicality. It really took a lot because he's lost a lot of weight, and before he came on this journey he was actually what's it called? He was a mentor, like a gym guy. So he used to train people as well. And he's quite a fit guy. Like if you look at his structure, he used to be a very good basketball player as well. And funny enough, he was actually a substitute teacher, but he was doing all these extra things as well. But in terms of the mental challenge, he's actually said that walking is his therapy. So it's like a really healthy time for him as well, because even when he was going through some rough patches with his state that he has, like being bipolar, he says that's actually helped him to, when he's feeling at a really high, it brings him down to a certain threshold where it's quite normal. And even when he is feeling a certain low, he then comes back to the average where he's feeling himself more again. So he's been able to do a lot of thinking on the road, but when it comes to physicality, he's been getting a lot of blisters, and it's like he's walking a marathon each day, because what he also told me is that each day he plans on walking 40 kilometers on average per day.
Wow. Sure, that's quite the challenge, man. But yeah, seems like he's got the physical and the mental capabilities to get it done. And yeah, we'll be following him as he does continue this journey. But then in closing, I just wanted to ask, why do you think the message that he's spreading about mental health is important? And also, how would you say that it ties in to what we are doing here at Better Than Yesterday? And specifically, leading up to an event that is happening later this month. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so what a wonderful story that he's giving us as Africans as well, where there's such a bad stigma, especially around mental health for men, where men aren't allowed to cry. And what he was just saying is that to become a better man and to become a better human being, you have to be able to regulate your emotions. And that means taking the first step of realizing that, yes, you might be going through some struggles, and to be honest about it and not to try and hide it away, because that's only up when real healing can take place. And that's so important for us here at BTY, because we speak on self-improvement, but BTY initially is to become better than you were yesterday. And that doesn't just tie into physicality, but it ties into our mental states as well, and the way we think about life. So in this awareness, the importance behind it is that it's important to also take care of yourself mentally, because it all starts in the brain. Like someone says, how you think, that's how you will be as well. And this very exciting event that will be taking place on the 28th of September will also just be around mental health and all the discussions that you can have on how to improve it, on how to better have or give society a kind of framework to work around mental health, so that it's not something that's looked upon in a negative way, but something that's looked upon positively, just how we look at our general health as well, man.
Love to hear it, Dan. And yeah, please keep your eyes posted here at Better Than Yesterday, here on YouTube, as well as on Instagram and TikTok, because that is just the initial announcement of what we are doing later this month. But we've got some big things planned. For any of you who were at our previous Young Men's Conference, then you might know what is coming. But just know that this is bigger and better, and the ladies can also get involved in this one. So be excited for that, and we are very excited for that. But Dan, appreciate you telling us a bit more about Brian Stupek, and yeah, we are going to be linking all his pages in the description of this video, so please go and check out his pages as well to actually get a first-hand account of what he is doing. He's on YouTube as well as on TikTok and Instagram, so give him a follow there. But it's been cool to have this conversation about what he's doing and about mental health in general as well. If you did enjoy listening to us, and if you enjoy and you want to see more of what we are doing here Better Than Yesterday, then consider subscribing to this channel, giving us a follow, as well as liking this video, and share it with people that you think would love to be a part of this community as well. That is it from us here at Better Than Yesterday, and we will see you in the next one. Much love.
Much love.